Today we're going to quite a special place called Hawkstone Park, and it's not that well known of, to be honest, but it was a very popular place to visit back in the 17 and 1800s, and it's basically the landscape gardens to an old house called Hawkstone Hall, and it's a massive collection of follies and stuff all around some an area of sandstone cliffs and stuff like that. So I believe this is the village of Hodnet, which is not far away. I think we're about 5 minutes away from it now, and yeah, it should be interesting to have a look around. So yeah, we'll see what it's like when we get there. So I think we're here now. I'm a bit early. I don't think it opens for about another 20 minutes or so, but see if we can get parked up. Even walking up just towards the entrance, you can already see a folly just in that tree line in the distance. Just a little tower poking through. Let's try and zoom in a bit. Just up there. Upon arrival, you'll come across this late 1700s Gothic style greenhouse. And this was originally built to provide refreshments for visitors, and today it's used as the gift shop and for admissions. An interesting fact about Hawkstone is that the landscape was used in 1988 to represent parts of Narnia in the BBC adaptation of The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. Okay, so here's a map that you're given when you first come in. So here's an idea of the sort of scale and the amount of little features that are around. And there's various length of walks you can do, and I'm going to do the longest one, which is supposed to be about 3 hours, which takes in all of the different little features and stuff, so should be quite interesting. Not too far from the entrance, if we walk up this hill, up these steps, we should come to our first little feature, which is called the Menagerie. So let's go up there. Alright, so this is the Menagerie, and apparently these little cutouts in the rocks here, these used to house exotic birds and even monkeys at some point, apparently. So you've got the actual cutout into the rock there, and then I believe as it's cut back here, as you can see, they used to be kept in there as well. And apparently there was some kind of arcade along the front which was probably sheltered, and that collapsed in the 1950s. So if you can imagine, you know, there might have been sort of cages across here, and then sort of a roof going across or something, and then the animals would be kept in these recesses, I believe. That's what it looks like anyway. So yeah, that's quite interesting. All cut out of the sandstone rocks here. You can see the marks on the wall where the tools have cut into the rocks. Some kind of little face looking thing there as well. And visitors in the late 1700s have written that there were a couple who used to look after this little site and the animals that they kept in it. So yeah, that's the Menagerie. Looks like I'm an ogre. Okay, so probably about halfway up a hill we're coming to another feature, and this is just known as the urn. And this urn was placed here in commemoration of a member of the Hill family who had hid in the area during the English Civil War. And the urn was actually thought to have been lost, but when the estate was being restored in the 1990s, they found this urn sort of in pieces a little bit in the undergrowth of rhododendrons and stuff. So then it was placed back where it was originally. There's you can actually see there is some text on the front, but it's a bit worn away now. Yeah, so that was the urn. Now we're going to go continuing upwards all these steps. As you can see, just lots of sandstone cliffs everywhere. If you look at these steps here, you can see how worn away they are, where people have, well, lots of people have walked up them since the 1700s. Just along here we'll see where a little shelter's been cut out of the rock. That's good. So visitors back in the day could have sheltered from the rain or whatever under here. That's nice. They've even carved the seats out at the bottom. Such an interesting place. Okay, let's continue upwards. Just at the top of these steps we come to the next feature, and this one is called the White Tower. You can just see it through the trees there. Now you're probably thinking, well, that building's not white, it's actually red brick, but originally it was lime washed, so it would have been white. And this is actually grade 2 listed, this building is. And you might be able to get inside, you never know. Probably not. Okay. And this building was another place to shelter from bad weather, and as you can see there's a fireplace there. And the figures there are apparently Viscount Hill and the Duke of Wellington. Very windy today, and due to be overcast most of the day. And the tower would have been built in the 1700s and sort of in the form of a Gothic battlement. Yeah, so that's the White Tower. Just next to the tower there's what's known as the rhododendron jungle. Okay, so to give a bit of background on the whole estate, there's a mansion nearby called Hawkstone Hall, and that was built between 1701 and 1725 by the Hill family, who also created this park as sort of their landscape gardens. And although it's not well known now, in the 1800s it was actually one of the most visited landscapes in Britain. As you can see, they planted all sorts of trees, like there's a monkey puzzle there. And the place consists of 100 acres of parkland with rugged sandstone hills that were developed to include gullies, bridges, caves, towers and even more. So they were trying to create like a picturesque landscape. But then throughout the 1900s the place sort of became forgotten and overgrown, and it was pretty much unvisited apart from locals who knew of it. But then, after a multi-million-pound restoration project, it was reopened in 1993, and it's a designated Grade 1 listed landscape. If you look here, it looks like in recent times they've planted some new monkey puzzle trees. You can see they're still quite small. You can see this monkey puzzle here is relatively new because it was donated in memory of someone. And another one. Yeah, so pretty much all of the features we'll see today were created or built in the 17 and 1800s. So this next feature here, this is called the monument. And this is apparently 110 feet high, and it commemorates a Sir Rowland Hill, who was an ancestor of the Hill family, who created Hawkstone Park. There's a spiral staircase inside with apparently 150 steps to the top, and it's said that you can see 13 counties from the top. And the first stone laid for this was in 1795. Whoa. I'm so scared of heights. My god, that was scary because I hate heights. But I think I'll have a sandwich to calm down now. Nice corned beef and brown sauce. Giant redwood tree here. This track here, running across the top of this side of the valley, is called the Terrace, and this is an old carriage drive, so you can imagine people visiting in the 17 and 1800s. Some of them maybe used to get a horse and carriage down this bit, and the bits we head into are some of the most interesting bits now, so should be alright. Okay, so we've turned left off the terrace, and I believe we're coming to the edge of some cliffs now. Oh, okay. Wow. Oh wow. So you can see in the distance over there on the cliffs, hopefully you will, there's further Follies over there, so eventually we're going to make our way over there. And here you can see there's a valley at the bottom, and I believe that's called the Grand Valley, and there's part of a golf course down there. No. Okay, so we're on this little viewpoint, and if we turn around, sort of a little cave type thing down here, so let's have a little look. Can't see anything. Let's see if I can get my torch. Let's have a little look. Alright, so this goes quite far down. Wow. Ah. There we go, torch can go off now. Alright, so what have we got next then? I think this might be what's known as the Hermitage. So this thatched roof Hermitage building was present by 1787, and it was actually restored during the 1990s. There's some very steep steps at this end of it for some reason. You can see in the roof it's had a modern restoration. And this once played home to an old man called the Venerable Barefooted Father Francis, who would play the part of a hermit and stood behind a table adorned with items, including a skull and a book. Visitors could come and talk to the hermit Francis and listen to his apparently wise words. However, in later years, an automated figure replaced the hermit Francis. And there's them steep steps that lead down into it again. Right, so this next feature is called the Swiss Bridge, and I'm going to be scared again because it's pretty high. Let's try to look straight ahead there, not look down. Okay, managed it somehow. Look at the views over to the other cliffs again. In the late 1800s, women would actually dress up and stand by the bridge to sort of reinforce thoughts of a Swiss scene. And in 2011, the bridge was actually rebuilt. Look at this place. Who would know this was hidden away in the Shropshire Hills? I have no idea what these are. This is called the Gingerbread Hall, and this was originally known as the Temple of Patience. And in the 1800s, visitors would wait here for guides, and they'd buy gingerbread and lemonade and stuff like that. Right, so now we're on the other side of the valley. You can see one of the viewpoints that we were at not long ago over the other side there. There's people walking across it. Let's have a look. Sort of a giant seat been built over here. Looks like we got some sort of tunnel or cave again over here. So let's have a little look. Right, so I know what this place is called. This is called the Grotto. And it's basically a large series of caves and passages excavated from the soft sandstone. And there were originally stained glass windows here, where you can see there's no glass now. And some of the walls would have been encrusted with shells and fossils and stuff. It's also been rumoured that it may have been a 5th century copper mine. It's actually quite large in here, and it's, you can get lost a little bit. And there's sort of a chamber in this bit. It's pretty amazing. could see all these marks on the wall where it was all chiselled and hammered out. Alright, I think this is a different exit to earlier. Quite a drop now. See further up the golf course up there. Right. And apparently that's called the Awful Precipice. Wow, what a view. This is pretty impressive up here. This here is called the Gothic Arch. This was built in about 1800, just as an eye catcher, to be viewed from the valley down below. Right, so I've gone back down into the Grotto caves and looking for the next feature, which is called the Cleft. I think it's just through here. So I think this cleft was cut through the rocks to give access to the grotto from below. As you can see, it's pretty impressive. And they provided chains and stuff to help you walk up and down it. It is a bit tricky. It's pretty stunning around here, really. Got to be careful with your footing. And as we get to the bottom of the cleft, there's another dark little tunnel thing looking here, so let's get the torch out and have a look. It's quite low in here. Ooh. Once you've been through that tunnel, a path leads you back round to the bottom of the cleft again. Okay, so we've left the top of the cliffs now, and we're going to be taking a route back towards the start, which sort of skirts the bottom of the valley, sort of thing. And this is called Reynard's Walk. And along here there's various caves and stuff apparently, so we shall see. Okay, so this first thing we'll come to, this is called the Retreat, and this was a natural little cave in the cliff face. And apparently once there was an inscription on the wall. So yeah, just a natural little cave there. And then we come to what's known as the Canopy, an Indian rock. I think this is Indian rock, and then this little cave type thing. Yeah, so this is the little cave's called the Canopy, and that's part of Indian rock, which is here. I don't know if you can see, but in the rock there's sort of a greenish tint up there, so that might be sort of traces of copper in the rock. Next we get to this sandstone outcrop, and this is called Foxys Knob, and it has a short tunnel going through it. And apparently it's called Foxys Knob because a fox apparently jumped off the top of it, and the fox's name was Reynard. And he was being chased by a pack of hounds, and he had to jump from the top to escape. And apparently that's why it's called Foxys Knob. And eventually we'll come to a bit called the Squeeze, because outcrops of stone on both sides cause you to squeeze through the gaps. Now we come to another tunnel. I like the tunnels around it. And I believe this bit just outside the tunnel is called the beach. It's got sand on the floor. It's a nice bit of sandstone. Apparently this little sandstone inlet here, this is called Reynard's Banqueting House. That would have been somewhere just to relax again. So I'm almost back to where I started now. And that was impressive, wasn't it? I mean, you can imagine why it was one of the most visited places in the 1800s. So what a great place to just come and have a walk around and, you know, have a nose at the Follies and all the caves and all that type of thing. So yeah, that was Hawkstone Park in Shropshire, a little hidden gem. So thank you very much for watching again. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.